Why would a studio tour be of interest to you? Well, if you're thinking of starting a channel but thinking, I can never do it, then this is for you. This is a real and affordable studio tour, one that's within your grasp. Hi, great to have you with me, and if you're new here, I'm David, and I've been making videos every week here on YouTube for about the past 18 months. And in that time, the kit around me has grown, and my workflow has changed a lot too. I never thought I'd end up with all of this gear, but then the YouTube and camera bugs got a hold of me, and well, now look. I'm not paid to use any of the kit you'll see in this video, but I have been given some by Neewer. It's not a sponsored video. I just wanted to share with you what goes on every week in my life and in my studio to create these videos. I want to help you on your journey, to show you what's possible. I want to take you to the other side of my camera and walk you through what I use, how I use it, and how it all comes together. If you've been wondering, how does he do this or that, or how's that done, sit back and enjoy. I'll be pulling back the curtains on it all. Later on, I'll even be showing you how I upload a video from inside YouTube Studio. Clearly, I'm not a past master in the art of video making, and I'm still learning every single day. But that's what makes this video more special. I'll tell you what things you don't need, the things I wish I'd known earlier on, and the things that I reckon are essential, either software or hardware, that I think are invaluable, the things I simply couldn't do without. For me, it all starts on a Sunday. That's when I finalise in my head what I'll be making a video about that week. The first thing you may be thinking is, well, why does he only make one video a week? Early on, I tried making two, but realised the quality wasn't what I wanted it to be. I know the style of videos I like to watch and the quality I want to bring you. As I do all of this alone, I just wouldn't have the time to make more than one video a week that I'm really proud of. To give you some idea, a 10-minute video would probably take me around 30 hours to make. The script takes about 2 hours. Shooting the A-roll, that's the bits where I'm talking to the camera, bits like this, the main video, can take anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. B-roll shots and all the filler shots or product shots, that can easily take 4 or 5 hours. That's a day by itself. And the majority of the time is spent in editing, finding the right templates, effects, and music. For each video, I have to come up with a thumbnail, write the description, and of course a title as well. I'll research the correct tags to use, and then finally, the easy part is uploading. I couldn't find the time to do more than that on a quality video every week. Quality, not quantity, is what matters. I never put out a video I'm not happy with. And don't forget, I don't only make videos, I also write every day of the week and make the Minus 16 podcast with Alex every fortnight as well. Now, scripting is fairly new to me, but something I wish I'd done much earlier on. It takes time, but it makes a huge difference when it comes to sitting in front of the camera. I write the script in Ulysses, the same app I write my blogs in. It's a Mac-only writers app, and it's brilliant. There's loads of benefits to scripting. For instance, it keeps you on point and it helps you tell a story better. You don't drift and meander, which I certainly used to do. But where it really comes into its own is on factual scripts, like last week's headset video, for instance. When there are so many facts and details to get right, having a script is a must. And once I've written a script, I export it as a plain text document to iCloud. And don't forget, this is all before I'm anywhere near recording. One of the more recent additions to the studio setup is this GlideCare Teleprompter. It's so simple to use and actually doesn't take that much getting used to. I thought I might struggle to appear natural, but it's really a piece of cake. I use an app called Filmic Pro. I import the script into the app on my iPad, and then I'll just rest it on the ledge and hit play. The app uses AI to move the script with my voice. Again, working alone, I have no one to move the teleprompter for me. Honestly, I just wish someone had told me about the benefits of scripting and using a teleprompter months ago. Your first takeaway from this video, write a script and use a teleprompter. I generally record on 2 cameras. I use a Canon 90D for the main shots. That sits on the teleprompter or behind the teleprompter. And the cutaway shots like these are recorded on my iPhone 14 Pro. I use Filmic Pro app on there, and I shoot in the ProRes 2020 codec. I was shooting directly with iPhone's camera, but shooting using Filmic Pro gives me better flexibility for color grading in post. Lighting and audio are key. All my lighting comes from Neewer. I originally bought these lights, which have seen me through about the past 4 or 6 months or so. But last week, Neewer sent me this CB150 continuous light and softbox to use, and it's a game changer. Not only is it much brighter, but the light is more even and better dispersed. If you ever get one of these lights, they're sturdy, they're chunky, I'll tell you that. So I've just bought a stand to go with one. It means I can now set it to the exact height and angle that I want. That CB150 is a quality bit of kit. So now I've got the CB150 as my main key light. Then I use my original Neewer lamps as a fill from one side and a hair light just behind me. The RGB lights you can see back there, I bought those from Neewer as well. Those lights just give a bit of colour and warmth and softness to the background of the set. For sound, I use a Røde NTG4A shotgun mic that's just out of frame. It runs on an XLR cable to the Focusrite 2i2 interface, and from there direct into my old 27-inch iMac. I record the audio in Adobe Audition, and then I process it before using it and match it to the correct loudness of -23 LUFS, ready to use in the post later on in the week. Nearly all the B-roll is shot on the Canon in the same studio using the same lights. The slider that I got from Neewer, and again, they did send me that has lifted my B-roll to another level. Being able to animate those B-roll shots rather than simply being stationary, static shots, it just makes everything pop and come to life. It's just more interesting for the viewer. Throw in some RGB lights and mist, add some effects in editing, and that's the B-roll in the can. As a rule of thumb, it's always better to shoot too much than to not have enough. Simply put, you can always choose not to use a shot in post, but you can't magic one up if you don't have it. I really love making these videos for you, and actually particularly this one, taking you through my journey, my processes of how I've got this far. If you're enjoying it and want to help me keep making more, then a simple like or sub in the channel will go a long way. And if you found it especially interesting and helpful, you could even super thank me now as well. Whatever, I'm just glad to have you with me. The rest of the week is then spent editing. I'm a Premiere Pro user and I absolutely love it. I've no thoughts of changing at all. My background is in Adobe anyway, so learning Premiere was pretty easy. That's not to say there weren't plenty of late nights trying to work things out, but the basics I understood pretty quickly. And I bet I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it's okay for you. I bet you knew what you were doing. No, that's really not true. I can honestly tell you, I put my first video up in September of 2021, and I hadn't even ever downloaded Premiere Pro or edited a video until July of that year. I was a total novice, I promise you. Obviously, I've learned a few shortcuts and tricks along the way to speed things up, but basically for me, Premiere Pro just flies. I really love it. I edit on a 2022 16-inch M1 Max MacBook Pro with 32 gigs of memory and 4 terabytes of storage and the studio display. I edit directly from the desktop for speed. The folder sits there all week and it's just quicker than using any external drives. Speaking of that folder, I've a master saved on the desktop as well, and that has all the relevant subfolders in it, and it has got a template in it as well. It's got all the bins in there. Everything's ready and saved. So all I need to do is copy it, open it up, and everything is good to go. So take 2, look for ways to save yourself time. When editing, there are 3 tools that I could not do without, and they are Epidemic Sound, Motion Array, and my new best friend, Film Impact. I paid full money for both Epidemic and Motion Array, but I was lucky enough to be given Film Impact. All the music, stingers and sound effects you hear in my videos all come from Epidemic Sound. The opening sequences, call out titles and the call to actions, they all come from Motion Array. Both sites are super easy to use and they've got different levels of membership that you can go for, whichever suits you and your budget best. Most of the templates or projects you'll get from Motion Array come with fonts and tutorials, and they will work in DaVinci, Premiere or Final Cut. Again, these sites I wish I'd known about earlier on. They all help lift your projects to the next level. Film Impact though is new to me. I've only been using it for about the last couple of months and they are only for Premiere users. And they're brilliant. They're all these smooth zooms you see, the typewriter effects, the transitions, they're all just drag and drop straight onto the timeline, direct from the effects panel in Premiere Pro. An absolute beginner would have no trouble in using them. They are brilliant. Take 3, learn to use effects. So the job is nearly done now. My MacBook Pro exports a typical 10-minute video in around 4 to 5 minutes. I'll normally have worked out what the thumbnail and title will be early in the week, so I'll make sure that when I'm shooting a B-roll, I take some shots for the thumbnail and have plenty of options left on the SD card when I'm shooting. I actually create the thumb in a combination of Lightroom and Photoshop. Again, in the master folder on my desktop, I have a template set up for the thumbnail as well. Friday evening or Saturday morning is the part of the week that it all starts to come together. I watched the exported video back a few times. There's always something I've missed in the first export, could even be a typo. Once I've got it exported finally, then it's time to get it uploaded. I use Chrome for the upload to YouTube, as I use the vidIQ extension as part of the upload process. The title, description and tags will all be ready and saved in a notes document. So that's just a case of copy and paste. I then add a card above my head that you see and an end screen and choose a time for the video to go out. As far as what time I choose for video to go out. I go by the time suggested to me in YouTube Studio to pick the best algorithmic time for the video to be published. And that's it. You have just lived my week in editing and making a video. That is what goes into making a video and why I only get one full video made per week. As to what I archive, all I save now are images I've shot and B-roll with thumbnails, and that's it. The rest of the project I get rid of because there's a lot of data there and storage is, as you know, quite expensive. So the rest of that project I get rid of. I'm never going to need it again, but you can never have too much quality B-roll to fall back on for other projects. So was any of that a surprise to you, or is that how you thought the process would look? Hopefully now, when you watch my videos, you'll have a closer connect and you'll just understand how they come together. And if you're thinking about starting a channel, first of all, just do it. But now you'll have a better idea of how easy it is to do and what you need to get the job done. Don't forget, I didn't have any of this from day one. It's taken me time. It's taken me 18 months to get here. Outside of the camera, invest in good lighting and get used to a teleprompter, use a script, and you also use good effects and plugins and music libraries. Most of all, be creative and have some fun. I really hope this has helped you. There are plenty of links below for gear mentioned in this video. I use all of them every week. Take a look at what best suits you and your budget. And if there's anything you'd like me to cover in more detail, let me know. Soon, I thought I may actually cover how I edit in Premiere and Audition. If that is interesting to you, let me know in the comments. And guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you back here next week.